So Gunther arrived at the start of Raw holding his belt while smiling, which sounds really weird. I mean, his championship gold, because of course last week he wasn't the world champion, and now he is. He's had a very good week. That's why he was smiling. I have a feeling that he's not going to be heel for too much longer. I think a babyface run may be coming. When we cut to Stephanie Vaquer, who was on the corner on her phone in the dark, I was like, who the flub is filming this? I am pretty sure that's illegal. Also, hello my friends, welcome to Ups and Downs. There's a heat wave in the UK, so I am basically dressed like I'm half naked, which is a terrible thing to say, and I shouldn't have said it, but it is true. But let's get into it. This is the finger of power, and there is so much to talk about, and the internet's mad again, which is good for my business. Don't know why I'm doing the Colton dance. Let's up those downs. So sadly, we do need to start with horrible news, and we are going to have to break protocol a little bit, because Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio came out to start Raw, and after a few matches when Liv was going to take on Kairi Sane, well, it all went pretty bad. Now, before we get to that, Corey Graves was on commentary to shout out to that guy, because he is so good at his job. Then Liv Morgan essentially went, oh man, you've been trying to cheer me recently. I am going to be the most wonderful, obnoxious person ever, and so is Daddy Dom over here. I mean, Dominic Mysterio doesn't get the booze that he used to get because deep down we do love him, but they still did a very good job. She also referenced the fact that she had mugged off Nikki Bella last week by telling her she has a man, and that sooner rather than later she was going to teach her a lesson, and of course, this is where the sadness does come. It sounds like either a tag team match or a singles match was going to go down at Evolution. Well, now I don't think we're going to get it. We actually even tied this into the madness on the internet, because Liv referenced the fact that last week IYO SKY had gone to Nikki Bella and said, oh man, thank you for paving the way. Liv was like, nobody paved the way for me. I'm the best. And on a smaller side from me, the positive idiot that everybody gets mad at. Even if you didn't think this was true, it's still a nice thing to say. I don't think we need to get mad at nice things. Maybe it made Nikki Bella feel warm and fuzzy in her tum-tum. Maybe she had a bad day. Liv then talked about the fact that she never even received a rematch. And I think IYO SKY took that personally, because she was talking about her title. And IYO was also backstage going, listen, here, production crew, and if anybody dares talk about my possessions, I'm going to go out there. And this kind of did feel like, you know, we were going to set up a match here as well, because IYO was like, man, why don't you shut up? You're so disrespectful. Morgan then made me laugh again because she was like, IYO, I can see how scared you are, so you may as well just give me that title. So this was a literal geese title shot. Now let's just condense it in. IYO SKY told Liv Morgan, you're going to have to earn this, which is not true. You are just allowed to walk up to champions and go, oh, please, can I have a title shot? And 9 times out of 10, they will give it to you. But then she went to this match with Kairi Sane. She obviously was going to win, and that would earn her a shot. But on the most harmless, innocent fall you've ever seen in your life, Liv Morgan dislocated her shoulder, so it sounds like she's going to be out for a while. So no up, no down. That's a stupid comic gimmick that we do to have some fun. This is not fun. This is the serious stuff. I just send her all of the best, and I hope she's back ASAP. IYO SKY did make sure to beat both of them up as well, and Dominic Mysterio got booted. I will say, just because I was going to have a moan about this before I figured out what did happen, I would like to know what's going on with the women's tag team titles, because Liv Morgan just seems to have forgotten about those. But once more, I'm not going to wiggle my finger around. When somebody got hurt, we just take the positive energy and we send it towards Liv Morgan. Chad Gable then told us the Green Bay Packers suck, given the location we were in. This is when Ivy Nile was getting all pumped up too, because she's best friends with Chad, because she was about to try and qualify for the next round of the Queen of the Ring. She's also taking on Stephanie Vaquer. Raquel, I wear sunglasses now because of my bad guy Rodriguez, and the returning Asuka. And honestly, this Empress of tomorrow, today, next week, she is the flubbing best, man. I am so happy she's back. She kicks ass. I was also super happy because I had predicted that Asuka should win here, because even though everyone was saying, well, it must be Stephanie, the reason WWE has done these 4-ways is because they want people to lose without losing. And if you had put Vaquer into the next round and she wasn't going to win the whole tournament, eventually she would have had to suffer a 1, 2, 3. Also, Asuka had been out for a year, and as we have learned, we were not ready for Asuka. Although she was ready for herself. What? The tease here as well is that Stephanie and Asuka kept going at it when the heels did break it up, which was quite funny, because this is like a meta-level storyline where they knew the fans wanted to see it, but they were going to take it away. But after around about 8 minutes, these two did throw fisticuffs, and here's the deal, we're going to need that feud pretty soon, thank you very much. It's actually Raquel Rodriguez that managed to break up some finishes when she was like, well, I'm going to hit the Tawana bomb on you, Stephanie. Where the ref went 1, the ref went 2, and then Raquel Rodriguez just vanished into the Phantom Zone. Like some Jedi had gone whoop and threw her out the ring when we learned, nope, it was Rhea Ripley. She had remembered how every single episode of WWE must work. Distraction, interference, and confusion. Oh, bam, the dick counter. I know. Why do you watch this show? I don't know. I didn't make you. That really confused Raquel as well, because she didn't know what was going on. because Asuka then ran at her and kneed her right in the face, but she did get the 1, 2, 3. Honestly, Rhea Ripley played this brilliantly. She was so happy. It's like someone told her, Rhea, we'll give you free pizzas for life. And she was like, what, mate? I can't believe it. I enjoyed this muchly. Asuka also cut a promo after this saying that she will become the queen of the ring, and she could be lying to us because we never know with a wrestler. But I am going to give this an up. And as for the DIC, we will get to it later because it does happen again, like Britney Spears. So I think that's a better time to talk about it. But I thought this was super fun. And what it did tell you, given that the opening of Raw was all female talent, the women's division in WWE and NXT right now is flubbing amazing. So when we get to the Evolution pay-per-view, my gosh, it could be the show of the year. Once again, I'm giving it an up. We then had this really cool video reminding you of everything that had gone down between Jey Uso and Gunther, because that is a big deal, when the New Day essentially cut a heel promo. This is one of the reasons I hope the Usos do get back together, depending on what we are going to do with Jey. Because poor Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have nothing to do. You know, they've got this really fun gimmick. And also, if you told the proper story between those two teams, well, it could be fire. Let's face it, it would save the Raw Tag Team division. This is where I kind of think we started to tease the breakup of Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. And my response to that is no. Because Raquel was getting help when Liv did walk in and said, man, we got to talk strategy for my match later. Raquel was like, no, I must get better. Take a med pack or something. So Morgan walked off being like, man, well, I'll just sort it by myself. Can we please let them defend the belts first before we do this? I mean, apparently not, because again, Liv Morgan's got to go away. We also saw the rest of the Judgment Day falling out too, especially Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, because JD McDonagh was going to have a match, and Finn Balor was like, I will accompany you to the ring. McDonagh was like, dude, you suck at this, I'm going to do it instead. And this is when Finn got in Raquel's ear, so that ties in, and he went off with Roxanne Perez. So you can see what we're building here. And maybe it is a little bit long in the tooth, but I still think we do pull the trigger. It's going to be quite a good angle. Given that we just had a video focusing on him too, here came the brand new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And once again, he was just so pleased he was the champion again. That's what we're going to learn. The internet was about to melt down. And Gunther did admit that on one night this year at WrestleMania, Jey Uso was better than him, but for the rest of the 364 evenings, as he kept telling us, nobody can touch the ring general. And that's why he put his hands around Jey Uso's throat and killed him. He didn't say that, but he may as well have done. The fans then started to chant Goldberg, and without saying his name, he was like, there's nothing to do with Goldberg. He's not going to be here, because don't forget when I last saw him down in Atlanta, Georgia, I insulted him, I insulted his friends, and I insulted his family. There will be no bald man like he. When he did turn his attention to Seth Rollins, though, he's like, oh, Seth, you were telling me that you'll miss the Money in the Bank, and that the long-term plan is for you to take my belt. Well, now it is on my shoulder, so why don't you come out here and do something about it? But instead, Goldberg's music hit. I don't care, man. This place went crazy. They popped. I popped too. There is something special about that tune. Just doing the dance of joy. I got hit with a wave of nostalgia, man. That's all wrestling is. I don't care about anything else. And listen, yes, there are lots of people on the internet that are dismissive about this, and you're more than allowed to be. I respect your opinion, but I always go with my tum-tum. I was just like, listen, keep it to 3 minutes, have some fun with it. And here, when Goldberg was just yelling at Gunther, the man is so serious, he's so intense. And he said, listen, on this night, I am here to congratulate you, because I understand the importance of being the champion, but you did do all that stuff to me in Atlanta, Georgia. That's my hometown. So in July, whatever the flub it's going to be, we are going back there for Saturday's main event. It's you versus me, and it's me versus you. And you're not first, you're last, you're next. He didn't say that. He said you're next. It's a catchphrase. Either way, it sounded like a Hallmark's greeting card, and Gunther sold this wonderfully. And I think if you turn your nerd goggles on and you look at his face, he thought this was pretty cool, given likely he grew up with Goldberg, and now he gets to be the guy that retires him. And that's why I think it's awesome as well. He should do that, and then he should come out for the next 472 days and go, oh, hello, I'm Gunther, I'm the champion. Oh, who, by the way, retired Bill Goldberg? It was me. I really think that people forget that Bill Goldberg changed the game back in the day in many ways, so he's allowed some sort of retirement, even if you don't think he is well enough to perform. That's his decision. That's not ours. I'm also not going to get mad about something that hasn't happened yet, so in terms of this segment, up. I just never want this kind of stuff to go away because it makes me so happy. Although, yes, I do have a down. I don't think this should be a title match, mostly because it ties into one of my biggest bugbears in pro wrestling when someone does go up to someone else and says, oh, please, can I have a title match, Geese title match? And the other person says, haha, of course. Gunther could have gone, no. You don't deserve a World Championship match. You haven't even been around. We thought we'd lost you. So it's only going to be a minor down, but listen, I have criticised it before, so I can't not criticise it here, just because I did enjoy the whole segment. But I actually think they're going to figure this out. There'll be a bunch of smoke and mirrors and bells and whistles. Very, very excited about it. Right after this, it was time for JD McDonagh versus AJ Styles as well. I actually thought this was a really good match, because AJ Styles is one of the best of all time, and in terms of current performers that we do not sing the praises of enough, well, JD McDonagh is right up there. He's a very good professional wrestler. Of course, though, Dominic Mysterio, Dommy Boy, the Condom, was at ringside, and he kept casting distraction, and he did a bit of interference. At one point, AJ Styles was confused, so he put a 1 on the counter. Now, listen, I'm not going to give it a down here. We're going to wait till later, because you shall see. Because I will tell you this, I think some people have got confused. If you are going to get some dick in a pro wrestling match, and the babyface ignores it and wins, that's fine. Like, you can still do too much of it, but when we use it as a crutch to go, he didn't really lose, well, that's when it becomes silly. But if the heels try to cheat and they get egg on their face, they are the bad guys, it's totally fine. It did mean at one point JD took advantage of this and did this crazy dive 2025 over at the announce table, which was awesome. But essentially, Dom Mysterio jabbed his oar in one too many times. When Styles was like, listen, dude, I've been around the houses, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna murk you. And that is because he hit the Styles Clash to get the 1, 2, 3. And this is the second time in a short period of time, it's a stupid sentence, where the Styles Clash is getting victories. Obviously, he was relying on the phenomenal forearm for a while, so that's exciting. But yeah, I am going to give it an up. Later on, too, Nick Aldis and AJ Styles had a chat, and it turns out we are getting the Intercontinental title match at Night of Champions. So we didn't forget about that. Did I say up? I can't remember. It's getting it up. It's solid stuff. The funniest part was after this, AJ got the belt and lifted it above his head. And when he did have that chat with Nick Aldis later, who was filling with Adam Pearce, he gave the belt back to him. So 1 on the crime counter, this Mother Hubbard stole it. Of all the people, Natalya and Maxine Dupree were then hyping up Sheamus. I'm trying to be horrible. If I was Sheamus, I'd be like, listen guys, I appreciate the support. Your win-loss record is terrible. Just how they did the same thing, like, oh man, you got to beat Rusev. I shouldn't complain. This was actually the most entertaining segment of the whole show. We also saw Grayson Waller and Austin Theory arguing in the background. So here's what we're going to do. I do believe it has been 16 to 17 months since we started teasing this, so I want you to get in the comments below and just answer a simple question, and the winner will get some kind of a prize. Will Grayson Waller and Austin Theory break up before GTA 6 arrives on our shores? I tell you, I am picking GTA 6 because these two apparently are just going to argue and argue and argue. Can you imagine if they're your friends, they ring you up, do you want to come out for dinner? You'd be like, absolutely not. You two are awful together. Why don't you just go your separate ways? They're like, oh no, mate, it's like nothing bad, man, you don't get it. They're insufferable. Bayley was seen walking into the ring here too, and she finally made her proper return to WWE, I suppose. And this is awesome because she has been away for ages, but she did the thing. She went, oh my gosh, so happy to be back. I really missed you fans. And listen, it was very heartfelt, and it was very nice, but someone needs to come back to wrestling at one point. Just ignore us, right? Pretend we don't exist. Come up with a different story. At the same time, she's brilliant, she's great, it just means it. She also talked about the fact she did get screwed out of WrestleMania, and she was so excited for that. And who was responsible for it? It was Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch walks around and she's so arrogant and she's egotistical, and nobody likes her. Becky now thinks that she's broken Bayley as well, but that's not true because she's stronger than ever, which means she must have taken a Phoenix down. Although at the same time, she can admit if there was a wrestling ladder, Lynch has always been 2 rungs ahead of her, so now, damn it, it's time to catch up. Given that we had said Becky Lynch's name about 1,000 times, eventually she did come out, as per Wrestling Rule 14.4, and she got a bunch of cheap heat by wearing a Bears top, but that was very funny. She actually said, listen, we're the same. Neither of us were meant to be the main eventers, neither of us were going to get pushed, but you were always happy playing second fiddle, whereas I took the bull by the horns. Look at me now. Becky also feels like Bayley always chose friends over legacy, when Bayley was like, no man, I've got a legacy, and in fact I'm going to be a Hall of Famer one day. But that doesn't mean I can't help the people in the back. And like you, Becky Lynch, you try and trend everyone. Becky is so good. It's like, yeah, I do. I don't like them. Because of course she did used to try and do this, but everybody pushed her, so now she's pushing back. And you know what, Bayley? It's the same with you. So don't you come in my house and make a mess. You hurt me first. She also said that nobody even cared that Bayley got taken out of WrestleMania, which is quite a cruel thing to say when Bayley was like, I know what this is about. It's because you've always wanted the support of the fans and you feel like they've turned on you, so you weren't able to handle it, which is a half-truth. I don't think anyone's actually ever properly turned on Becky Lynch. But it all tied into the fact that you figured out if you did have a big return, it would hide your shortcomings. I quite enjoyed this exchange. Like, in periods, it was a little bit weird, and it could have used more fire, but ultimately, it got me hyped for their feud. She also told Becky that her head's too far up her ass, which is why she doesn't remember any of this. Which is when Becky was like, well, you know what? You can't even remember what it feels like to be a champion. Bayley's like, yeah, that's a good point. I guess I better go win a title. They then basically agreed to have a match next week, and at first it wasn't for the IC title, but then Bayley found Nick Aldis backstage, and he said, well, you did get screwed out of a title match at WrestleMania, so it is for the title, and that makes no sense, because that's for the tag team belts. But listen, I do like this. Lyra Valkyria is obviously going to be involved in it too. I would get to the point where you do a three-way. Lyra Valkyria becomes the Intercontinental Champion again. She then spins off with somebody else when you can do the Becky Lynch-Bayley feud properly without a championship. And Becky even talked about that in her book. She just wants to do a big program and it's not just about a prize, it's about personal beef. And I think we may be setting that up. So yes, bravo to all involved. Maybe this didn't hit the heights that I was expecting, but it is still good. So I am going to give it an up. I do have one problem here, and that is the conversation that Bayley and Lyra Valkyria had later. Because they were backstage, they bumped into each other, and Bayley was like, listen, I'm really sorry that I didn't text you or get in touch with you for 2 months. I didn't get in touch with anybody. Lyra Valkyria was like, listen, man, don't worry about it. I do understand. You were just doing what's best for you, but I now must do what's best for me. And she walked off. Can you imagine if anyone did that to you in real life? You'd be like, did they just hit me with an Instagram quote and then leave the room? I don't think I want to be friends with them anyway. Also, Bayley, you can't ghost someone for 2 months. That's not nice. Kevin Kelly also had a quick chat with Jey Uso and he told us yeet, I'm going to win King of the Ring, yeet, when we did indeed get to this Liv Morgan Kairi Sane match. We've talked about it. It absolutely sucks. And just to reiterate, I hope she's okay. We then had this really good segment between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. Because essentially Sam was getting all hyped for King of the Ring when Karen was like, oh, listen to you, you insane moron. You're not going to be able to beat Randy Orton. That's the guy that will cut corners, whereas you are still too goody two-shoes. Sami Zayn was like, you don't get to walk into my face and say these things. So when I am done with the King of the Ring, I'm going to whip your ass. Now, Karrion Kross was very happy about this. And also, yes, when Kross did walk into the frame, do you know what the fans did? Yeah, they cheered. It's really cool though, because we now have set this up, unless WWE forgets about it, which they have done before. But I am massively intrigued. I want to see what we're going to do. When we got to the next round, or the next thing, when it came to the men's King of the Ring qualifier, which is a bunch of words just thrown at you, but what a match this was. Because it was Bronson Reed versus Rusev versus Sheamus versus Jey Uso, and really that is just big men slapping man meat. That's what we did here. They all just ran into each other and punched them when Jey Uso would like pop up with like a super kick or some kind of a dive, because it is 2025. But the whole time I sat there and I searched my feelings like a Jedi, I'm having a pretty good time. The big issue for Jey though was his tum-tum was still injured from last week. So of course he tied a fabric around it. 1, so he had a target that Bronson Reed could go after, but also 2, because he thought this was going to protect him. I was like, Jey, come here. This is not going to do anything. You're better off removing it now. I mean, at one point, Reed just punched him right in the gut when we did get to our big stare-off between Rusev and Sheamus. Listen, I actually went on social media today before I watched Raw. I rarely do that. And you saw so many people go, oh man, this thing isn't working at all. And then I watched it. And Raw, the live crowd, they all went totally nuts and they were so excited. As was I. I love Sheamus. I love Rusev. You know the deal. I think we're going to do it at SummerSlam. They are buddies in real life. I mean, they may actually go out there and kill each other. Of course, Reed broke out by squashing them in the corner when Sheamus picked up Bronson and gave him a white noise for a 1-2. Ooh, that's like, that'll do, pig. That'll do. We were then breaking up all the finishes, including Bronson Reed after he hit a tsunami. And of course, Jey Uso was getting ready to go when Bron Breakker teleported in and he attacked Jey Uso because he doesn't like him and because Seth Rollins' group is totally mad. But then all of a sudden, Sami Zayn was here because he was like, well, Jey Uso is my friend, so this isn't going down. And when he went to hit the haluva kick, Bron stopped him. But then Penta was here. I was actually looking around my room. So where did he come from? It also then looked like Bronson Reed somehow was going to take advantage of this when LA Knight also decided, haha, yeah, I'm going to walk to the ring. And of course this one does make sense. It is not 2 + 2 = potato. Seth Rollins' group at LA Knight, well, they have played screwjob tennis for the last few weeks. He quite physically pushed Bronson Reed off the top as well when Jey Uso was like, listen, man, I've had a pretty bad time recently. I don't care. He hit the Uso splash. He got the 1, 2, 3. I don't understand why people don't like this. It now means next week it's Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. If you were going to come up with a tournament, these are the kind of mad matches I want to see. I was also in tears watching the end of this because so many people turned up to be a massive dickhead. is a bit like I'd injected drugs. I was having some kind of a meltdown. Speaking of all this too, Seth Rollins then walked out. He was taking his suit off. He's like, man, I can't believe you've done all of this. But before he could attack Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes' music hit as well. Everybody went crazy, and I was sat there with my 2025 sticker book of the roster going, well, I wonder who's next. I mean, CM Punk could have walked out, but he didn't. You also saw Cody and Jey Uso shake hands here because it is going to be a babyface versus babyface match. But I am totally intrigued to see what we're going to do there because Cody has to win, which means Jey has to lose, I would assume. How the flub do you get out of that? So I'm going to give it an up because few companies do this kind of chaos as well as WWE. But here comes my final down. There's a dick counter. We make sure we put another 1 on it. And here's the deal at the moment, right? Dicks should be reserved for Seth Rollins' group because if they do keep interfering, confusing, and distraction, we'll be like, oh man, you've got to stop doing this. You're running wild and it's not fair. But when you get it in every other single match, mostly apart from a couple, where you just water it down. And I know I talk about this every week, but it's a bugbear of mine. Doesn't mean I'm right too. You can go, Simon, I don't care about it. And that means you're 100% right. I just think the WWE can be way more creative than this. Going back to some of the stuff we did on SmackDown, like the Alexa Bliss Charlotte Flair finish, I thought that was bloody ace. We should do more of that. But it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because when Raw did hit this week, it was super duper good, to the point I'm going to tell you to go and watch it, or at least check out the highlights. Obviously, apart from Liv Morgan, so once again, all the best to her. It's getting it up. Now, of course, please do drop me a comment below and let me know 2 things. 1, what did you think of Raw? And will GTA 6 come out before Austin Theory and Grayson Waller break up? Like the video, share it around, subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is more ups and downs or my stupid opinions. But otherwise, my friends, have a great day. It's so damn hot. I mean, the sweat is disgusting. I'm a horrible man. I'll see you soon.